Greetings, Namaste, Monsoon Biswakarma here, right now at Audio Advent Rehearsal Studio. If you still don't know where this is, I have a video in my channel, to which the link should be here somewhere above. And yeah, we've been running this place for 5 months now, and we're right ahead of Dasai. And this video today is about this beast of an amp that we use here in the rehearsal space. And today's video comes at a request of a lot of you guys that have come here to jam with your friends, with your bands, and who have frequently asked about my own personal tweaks on this amp, the way I get my sound from this amp. So today's video is going to be about that. Let's talk a bit about this amp now. The amp is LV300 Fusion by Laney. It has a lot of cool features. Let's start from the front. It has a clean channel, drive 1, drive 2, and 3-band EQ for clean and 3-band EQ for drive. Both the drive sections share a common EQ, and there's individual reverb for clean and drive. On the plus side, the cleans have a bright switch, and the drive 1 and drive 2 have mid scoop switches. So it's really cool, you know, a lot of tones from just one amp. And it has an FX loop on the back, which we'll not be talking about much today, so I'm not going to show you that. But you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with the pedals in front, pedals in back, and you can go all nuts with this thing. None of which we'll be doing today. Today we'll be just doing straight up amp. The weapon of choice today is my trusted PRS SE Custom 24 25th anniversary in Scarlet Red. Going to this amp through this Planet Wave cable, and all the sounds are received. All the sound is received via this SM57. Sure, SM57. And yeah, I guess that's it. Hey, one more thing. The reason this amp is called a Tube Fusion is because it has a tube-driven drive stage. The tube is ECC83 on the drive stage. The rest of it is solid state. So you get a really nice, rich drive section. And yeah, that's it. If there's something more, then you can look it up on the internet. Look about it on the website of Laney and wherever you can find out. And if I've missed something, mention in the comment section below. You guys are more informative than me, I guess. Some of you are. And yeah, one more cool thing that it comes with is this robust switch. It has 3 switches: a switch for cleans, a switch for both the drive section, and a reverb switch. And this is really solid. It looks like it can take a beating, and it does take a beating really well. And yeah, I'll be using this, and the connection to the amp of the switch is via a MIDI cable. So yeah, that's it. I guess that's it. Let's begin. Yeah, and to all the detail seekers, the pick I use is a Dunlop Sharp, which I've been using for like 5 years now. It's really nice. You can try it out. Yeah, let's do it. We'll be going from cleans to drive 1 to drive 2, and for convenience, I have already tweaked the amp to my own personal setup, and from there we'll move back and forth. So we can test out some other tweaks other than my own. And yeah, one more thing, we cannot really show you all the possible tweaks because it's really impossible, because there's an infinite number of combinations you can go to. But the ones we'll be talking about here are my own personal ones. So let's begin from cleans. bright switch is off, the bass at 1 o'clock, the middle at 11 o'clock, and the treble at 11 o'clock, and the volume is like 9:30 something, near 10. Let's switch the bright switch on. Right now the reverb is at 11 o'clock. Let's go a little bit crazy and get the reverb all the way through, and let's hear how it sounds. That's how I like it usually. A little bit of glitch there on the play. Let's do it again. This was my first choice for, the tweaks on the sound you just heard. That's my first choice for cleans. Another thing I like about this amp is when you get the treble a bit more, like around maybe 3 o'clock. It's when the things get really crisp. Let's get the reverb down a bit. It's around 12 o'clock. Yeah, that's another sound I really like. And now let's get the mids down, the bass down, treble at 2 o'clock, the mid is at 10, and the bass is 12 o'clock. Bright switch still on. Yeah, that was the clean section. Now let's go to the drive 1. Again, I have already tweaked the parameters, so it's convenient and we save a little bit of time. At first we'll look at it with the mid scoop switch off. The gain is at 5 o'clock, and the master is at 9:15 is something like that. And yeah, let's hear how it sounds. On the EQ section, the bass is at 1 o'clock, the mids at 10, and the treble is at 11. What I usually do is whenever I get my guitar in an amp, which is new to me or anything, what I try to find out is what the characteristic of the amp really is. Sometimes the amp is more on the treble side, sometimes the amp is more on the bass side, sometimes it's rich on the mids. And when we speak about this particular amp, I think it's more on the treble side. So what I tend to do is I keep the trebles down a bit, and bass, I try to keep the bass more than the treble, so it fights the natural treble that comes out of this amp. Yeah, there was the drive without the mid scoop on. Let's hear some more of it. I really like this sound. If I had to select one sound to go to through all my set, this would be it, because the drive one on this amp is really good, at least to my taste, that is. Let's hear some more. I'll play you some more riffs. It's really nice because you hear all the notes chime, and I really like that. So let's hear some more. Yeah, you really hear the details of the sound, like when I go from and it's better with moderate output pickups. When you're going like from when you're in 3, you can get clean, and suddenly you go up and it's like the hell breaks loose. So yeah, that's the sound. And when I was talking about that chimey sound, the sound you get when all the notes ring at once, it's something like this. Let's hear it with the scoop switch on. The tweaks are all the same. We hear a bit of compression going on when we switch the scoop switch on, and I guess it's really good when you're playing more of a percussive sound, when you want that percussiveness to really come out, like yeah, something like that. Let's go by drop. It's better like this. Or you can do like fun stuff like yeah, that was the drive 1 with the same setting on both the switches with the scoop switch on and off. Let's go to the drive section 2. That's where the things get a bit crazier. The EQ setup is the same. as before, like on the drive 1, and the scoop switch is off. So let's hear how it sounds. The drive 2 is better for like chugging stuff, more on the metal side, heavier, and it's more on the compress side of the sound. So yeah, let's hear it. And with the scoop switch on, you get a really compressed sound. You lose a little bit of volume, but again you get some power for that chugging. The same riff I played before, if you hear it on this one, it goes like. It's smooth, and yeah, it's great for chugging and all you metal players out there. To me, I really love the drive 1. I don't really need to go beyond that. To me, drive 2 sounds a bit pussy, but yeah, all these tweaks are my own, so this is how I use this amp. And let's tweak a bit more. Let's go through some cleans again without the bright switch on, and which is how I like it. The dark and smooth sound, and the cleans in this amp are really amazing. With the digital reverb, you cannot really ask for more. The amazing clean means that you can put a bunch of pedals in it and you will sound pretty decent. It can be a great pedal platform. Let's hear some cleans without the bright switch on, which is how I like it. Again. Let's get the treble a bit more on maybe 230, mids a little less on 10, and bass, let's leave it as it is. And if you get the treble a little more, like maybe 4 o'clock, the bass a bit more like 1 o'clock, and mids at 11, you can do like some blues kind of stuff, a punchy, clean blues. Yeah, that's all about the cleans. Let's go to the drive one again with the mid scoop switch off, which is how I like it. I'll talk to you about one more setup that I use when I'm here. I like to get all the EQ down, bass, treble, mids, all like 730 or 8, something like that, and leave everything else just like that and get the master rolling a bit more. This is another tweak that I use when I'm a bit lazy, you know, to tweak everything. And the same for when it's scooped, and the same for when I'm on drive 2. A really amazing thing about drive 2 is you can use it like somewhat like a fuzz. It's not really a true fuzz, but you can, like, if you get the pickup on the neck, it's really saturated, and to get more of it, let's gain it up a little bit and masters more and bass like at 9 o'clock. Yeah, that's all of my tweaks, and forgive me if the video was long, but I hope you got what you wanted. That is how I use this amp. One more thing, I almost forgot. When you're on drive, when I'm on drive, I prefer the reverb right about at 9 o'clock. That's how I use it. No reverb is like a really sad thing for me, you know. I really like reverbs, and I don't use them a lot on drive, but I like to keep it at around 9 o'clock when I'm using this amp. And that gives me, like, it's really nice, you know. And without the reverb, it sounds a little bit empty. With reverb again. Yeah, that's all. If you like what I just did, you can get the same kind of setup. I have spoken out my tweaks, so you can repeat it for your own. I guess that's about it. And dosa is right at the door. Hope you enjoy it, and thank you for all the love and support you have given us so far. It's been 5 months, and we were not expecting this much of a joyful ride with all you guys. All of you have really been supportive, and this comes not just from me, it comes from Biki too. and all of us at Advent, the guy behind cameras, Ayus, and the rest of the team. Those of you who don't know what we do is we are also an event team. We have done a bunch of events outside of the valley, a bunch of art exhibitions, bunch of gigs. That's what we do. It's not just a studio. So yeah, this is just one part of it, and this video was a thank you to all you guys, and I hope you keep supporting us forward. Yeah, that's it. You guys have always been awesome, and this Laney LV300 has been a beast. Monsoon out.